Okay guys, I'm back with another video from my private channel. I thought I'd do something more with my vinyl collection since I've only done one video just showing what I kind of want to do with the series. I haven't got around to really editing a video and stuff. I'll probably get to that sooner than later now. But I figured I'd show you guys a little bit of my collection today. And as you might notice, my Sony sound setup's not here. I just gave it up. I'm going to just use one of these Victorollas. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing a complete rearrangement of my living room and cleaning it out and stuff, and I gotta figure out how I want it set up, so I'm just shooting this in between that. My first real introduction to prog rock properly would probably be Pink Floyd. That's the first prog band that I got into that kind of like opened me up to the genre. And then within recent years, with a certain anime that some of you guys might have heard of called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I heard a song called Roundabout by Yes, and then I went and I worked at a gas station and it played on the radio at a weird time, where as soon as my manager walked in, it hit the to be continued part that was used in JoJo. So I finally looked that song up after I asked them, and I started listening to Yes, and I found the album Fragile, which is probably my favorite album by them. And I picked this up at my local record store, Sonic Ascension Records. If anybody in my area is around, I would definitely recommend going there and picking up music from him. All the prices are fair, and he does a good job. And I went from there. We'll go through all my Yes albums. I got my own dedicated tote to it. It's not full at all, but I have enough Yes albums that I feel I need to have a separate tote. So some of these are different albums, but they're usually different pressings. It really depends on what I find at the time. I usually start out by finding an album for like $1 at a store. He has ones that aren't in good condition that he sells for only $1. And I'll give them a listen. If I like it, then I'll find a better issued pressing or better condition album. So we have Fragile. This was the one I started with. And I do have a different pressing of Fragile. This one's in better condition. I got it for $10, I guess. I don't know if that's the right sleeve that I got it with. But it's a completely different pressing. It's in much better condition. It sounds much better. So I got 2 editions of Fragile. Oops. So as far as the nicer ones that I have Classic Yes, which is a Contemplation album by them. I have this on cassette and CD also. This is actually a German pressing of it, so I guess it's an import technically. And this one does have some of my favorite songs on it. It has songs from Close to the Edge and also on Fragile. I have one of their earlier albums, Yes. I have the Yes album. Then for some of my lower condition albums, most of these ones that I'm going to show you after this, I all got for about $1 to $3. This one was $3, this is Close to the Edge. I definitely like this album. I actually picked up the Super Audio CD of it. Unfortunately, it looks like the American Super Audio CD pressings aren't as good as the Japanese ones, and they don't include the surround sound mixes, but it's still good. Close to the Edge is the title track. That is about a 23-minute song, I believe, on the one side, and then there's a few other songs on the other side. So if you're into prog and you haven't listened to this, I definitely recommend it. I got Yes Shows. I got Yesterday, which is another compilation album. Sorry, I'm not saying that right. And I have Time in the Word. I do like the title track on this album. I haven't listened to the earlier Yes songs as much as I have from Fragile and then onward as it gets more prog. And then I have another copy of Yes Shows. I think one of these is a better pressing or better condition. I removed it from the sleeve, so I'm not sure. I think it's the one I showed before that's in better condition. Yeah, this one has the little cut. I learned about this. Some stores used to do that. Stop returns or something like that. I'm not old enough to really know too much about record store dealings back in the day, or remember them. And I got Tornado. I haven't listened to this one too much, and this one I've got is like $1 one. It is not in the best condition, so I'll probably look out for a better pressing of that. And then here's Going for the One. I tried listening to this one. I don't find it as good, and I think most people don't find it as good as anything before it. It's not quite the same prog. If I remember, this is like their post-80s phase, or around their 80s phase of the band. If you've heard any Yes song, you probably heard Owner of a Lonely Heart, which is off this album, 90125. This is probably their most 80s album. I think it has some okay tracks, but I can't really compare it to the previous works. Fragile and Close to the Edge and Dreams of a Topographic Ocean are very prog. This is more 80s synth, I'd say. And then the last one I have is Tales from a Topographic Ocean. This is a pretty prog one also. It's a double album. I also didn't really show... Some of these have very beautiful artwork in the middle of them. Like the little centerfold area. Actually, go to that. Yeah, like here, Yes Shows has a bunch of band photos. Those look nice, but I really prefer the surreal artwork. Like here's Close to the Edge. The outer artwork is a very simplistic thing. It is kind of like a dark green to light green tone. Then the band logo and the title in the same font. But if you look inside, it's a beautiful landscape of like fantasy and stuff. There's edges, there's stuff. I haven't looked too much into the band's inspiration for the songs and the background of each of these songs and meaning, so I don't know how much lore, mythology, or background music or fantasy has inspired this, or if there's any stories behind some of the songs. But I like the artwork regardless. This pressing of Fragile just has the band info on the inside, which I like that also. This kind of has a light blue. There's some mildew and stuff, so that's a sad side on collecting albums, is some of these older ones that are good albums, they're kind of not in the best condition. But there you go, and that's all the Yes albums I have for now. I'll probably look for some better issues and versions of the album. I'm still learning about what album grades are and condition. I don't know how to tell exactly apart each pressing. With some Pink Floyd albums, I have it kind of easy because I know like what era. Like if it was CBS, it was when Columbia, before Columbia was bought by Sony, so it would have been like in the 80s or 70s. And if it was after that and it was Columbia under Sony, it would have to be at least the 90s and onward and stuff. I don't know how to tell first pressings really, unless like the album only got one pressing, so I'll have to research that more as I go more into this. Anyway, that's it for now. I just figured I'd also show off my collections when I make these vinyl videos. It's kind of neat to go through everything that I've had. I will go over my King Crimson collection once I get one more album, and I'll go over my Pink Floyd collection probably soon. That is pretty big. I still am missing some major ones, but we'll see when I get there how much I've caught up. Alright, until next time everybody, I hope you have a good night, a good day, whatever it is, stay safe out there with everything going on in the world, and I'll see you again soon.